Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about ways to deal with online hate and bullying. And I have 7 tips to get you through it. Unfortunately, there isn't some magic pill I can give you, or a shot, or a tip, or a thing to make you bully-proof. There's always going to be haters, there's going to be mean people online who are going to spout hateful comments and things towards you and try to bully you. But the one thing I want you to take into consideration while I'm offering up these 7 tips is that bullying and hate in general says more about the person doing it than it does about you. And I always just try to keep that in mind, because consider how bad you'd have to feel to be spouting hate to someone else that you probably don't even know in real life. Imagine how shitty their life is and how bad they probably feel. Sometimes that just makes me feel a little bit better when dealing with haters. And the first tip, and my personal go-to, is don't pet it. And I like that term because I like to think of haters and bullies as like rabid dogs online, where if you say anything back, you comment back, even if you're just trying to like appease or like diffuse a situation, you don't know what you're gonna get. They might bite you. They might throw something back. And I find if we try to talk back to them or argue back, we're just giving them more fuel to use to throw more hate back at us. And so my go-to is just don't pet it. And my second tip, and this one's gonna make you laugh because it made me laugh when I wrote it, but it's so true. You can be overly witty and outsmart them or completely confuse them. So let's say that you really just cannot, because I know some people cannot take the don't pet it route. They're like, no, I have to say something. This is so offensive, or this is so rude, or how dare they even try to do that? I have to say something back. You can come up with an extremely witty or smart comment that they probably won't understand, reference something that may confuse them. And my personal favorite that I've actually done in the past, back in the day when we had like AOL Messenger and chat rooms, and I was like 13 playing around with my friend Kati on them. You all have been there, I know. We used to, when someone was really rude or mean, we'd talk back to them in a made-up language, or even better, like Russian. Like we'd pick a random language and we'd translate it on Google and you pop it in there. Ta-da! They have no idea what's happening. They don't know how to respond to you. And I find it really funny. And sometimes it just helps to turn a nasty, horrible situation into something that can make you laugh. Am I right? And my third piece of advice is block them. There are so many ways to block people. I know people create other accounts. Trust me, I deal with that all the time. But there are still so many ways to block people. You can even filter comments. If you have a YouTube page, you can go into the comment section and add words that you want to be filtered out. There are so many ways that we can make our spaces safe and happy and healthy. Trust me, I've been doing it for 5.5 years online, and I've never regretted blocking someone. And my fourth tip is tell someone about it, whether that be a friend or a family member just to vent, or a professional so you can talk about what's happening and how it's made you feel. Make sure you're talking about it. And especially if this is happening online, if this is happening on any of the little areas that I manage, especially if it's happening on my site, let me know. Talk to me about it. Tell Carly, tell Allie, tell some of our moderators about what's going on, because I do not hesitate to block people who are misusing my platforms. The use of my website is a privilege. It's not a right. And I try to keep all of my communities very safe and happy and healthy. And if someone can't abide by those rules, then I have no problem blocking them. So tell somebody about it so we can do something. And my fifth tip, and this one's gonna sound kind of weird, but keep records. If someone is bullying you over and over and over again, making other accounts, finding other ways to bully, using other platforms to get to you, using different usernames, whatever it may be, keep all of those records. If anything ever happens, if they escalate it to another level, you're gonna want all of those records when you go to the authorities to tell them about it, because things can be done. Bullies can be brought to justice. This does happen, and there are so many ways for you to keep records, whether it be through Facebook or Twitter or even texts. Make sure that if something like that's happening, you're keeping the records just in case, just to keep you safe so that you know you're protected. And my sixth tip is to spend time with loving friends and family. You know, those people in your real life that aren't online bullying you, make sure you spend time with them. Nothing can feel better than a hug from someone who really loves and cares about you. So make sure we're making time for those relationships and making time for people in our lives who are positive. That way we can kind of balance the good and the bad and hopefully outweigh with some good, with some happy, wonderful relationships instead of focusing on those negative ones that are happening online. And my 7th and final tip is do some positive self-talk. I know I say that all the time, but it goes a long way, especially if all you're reading online right now, because sometimes for some reason those negative comments get stuck in our head and we think about them and we can almost recite them verbatim even though we've deleted them. It's important that we change that we start by saying good things to ourselves, writing down some things we're grateful for, some things we did well this week. Write those things down and say them to yourself and repeat them to yourself until those cancel out and like shut down all that nasty negative stuff that we've been picking up from that bully or that hater. I hope you found these helpful. I know a lot of us struggle with this. The online world is wonderful, but it also comes with kind of a dark side to it where people have the ability to hide in anonymity behind a screen and bully us. But know that you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to pet it. You can block it, and you can surround yourself with positive, supportive people who love you. And if you're new to my channel, click here to subscribe. And make sure if you're subscribed that you turn on your notifications. I'm doing this because there's a little bell you can hit so that when I put out a video on a Monday or a Thursday, you get notified and you don't miss out on it. And I will see you next time. Bye!